Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Disqualified. I am Trevin, joined by Caleb.
Hola.
And Zach, as always, is behind the camera.
Hi. We are here to talk about Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
We missed the two biggest episodes, so this is our
Little catch up.
a little catch up.
Yeah.
So basically, over the weeks, everyone has seen that Penta's debuted. We've had the Women's Intercontinental Championship tournament finally end, and
the debut of Raw was basically a PLE.
Yeah, pretty much that's all that you missed from us if you haven't watched. But yeah, we're just here to get into it. This was a pretty decent episode of Raw.
I'm going to comment on what you said, though. If we are your main source of Monday Night Raw, first off, thank you. Second of all, it's on Netflix now. What are you doing?
You can watch it today.
Yeah.
You can watch it today. So, but yeah, we're just going to kick off with, I think, one of the most, one of the promos of all time. It was Jay. He basically came out and said the same exact thing as last week, saying, I believe in myself. I'm here. They're my team. Gunther came out, said, yeah, you're a mascot. You're a comedy wrestler. Jay reiterated, said, yeah, I'm a mascot. They're my team. They ride for me. They slide for me. And then on Saturday, I'm going to take that title. He stood tall, knocking Gunther out the ring and holding up the belt, which is a bad sign. He is not winning.
Yeah. I mean, he stood tall in a lot of promos against Braun Breaker back in their initial rivalry, but still, I feel like Saturday Night Main Event is not the place to cash in the put a world title on Jay card because of the disappointment that was the premiere Saturday Night Main Event. It's like...
Yeah, I just don't think there are... I don't want to say ever. I think it's going to be very rare to see title changes happen on Saturday Night's Main Event, and I don't think the second show is when they're going to do it.
Yeah.
We had another world title match announced later on in the night for Main Event, and I think that's the same thing. Not going to see that change.
No.
But yeah, like I said at the start of this segment, it was just one of the promos of all time.
Yep. But our opening match was Rey Mysterio against a newly healed Kofi Kingston.
And before they came out to the ring, the New Day were speaking with JBL backstage. They said, "Hey, we know you don't like Rey. We know you're a commentator, so here, we'll slip you some money." They slipped them $2. 8 gumballs in this economy is what you slipped them. 8 gumballs.
That's not even a pack of gum at the gas station.
Exactly. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And then JBL says, well, yeah, I see why you got rid of Big E. He had so much charisma, so much of an it factor. He's like, everywhere they go, people want to see Big E, and now that he's gone, they have to pay attention to you, I guess. I was like, yeah.
JBL's a classic.
And then they left the segment, and JBL's like, you don't want the $2 back? Then we have Ray come out. We cut to commercial here in the U.S. During the break, JBL made his entrance out to the ringside area.
Yeah.
And then the New Day start coming out.
Yep.
Cut a promo in the middle of their thing, which I guess is a new thing that they're doing for everyone that's a heel.
Well, they cut it off because their music is still Big E opening them. So... they don't have new music yet, which is going to be interesting for the Rumble if they're in it.
I mean, they could do what they did with Ciampa back in NXT and just have him come out to booze. That was a good mark. It was just you'd see the Tron and then no music would play and Ciampa would just come out and just get belted with "Fuck you, Ciampa. Fuck you, Ciampa." Yeah. So it could work, mainly because the crowd is so behind booing the New Day right now. I think it could work.
Yeah.
For like 2 weeks, and then get them some new music.
Yeah.
But they come out, they cut their promo saying, "We're disappointed that you still aren't giving us the time to speak. We're walking Hall of Famers. Speaking of Hall of Famer, give me my $2 back." And they steal their $2 back from JBL. Damn.
Yeah. Honestly, though, pretty good match still. Like, the two contestants are former world champions.
Rey Mysterio powerbombed himself.
Yeah, that was insane.
I said in all my years of watching wrestling, I've never seen someone powerbomb themselves.
Because that's the thing is that Kofi does wear hand wraps, and Ray's pants did look a little slippery because they were.
It was just a factor of things. I don't think Kofi held on fully. I think Ray jumped a bit too early.
Yeah.
And then they just fell apart.
Yeah,
But
they
got
fit
the spot.
They were able to fix the spot. Kofi did the classic heel, grab the leg, stomp the midsection.
Yeah, it was just fun. But this was a good match. It was a great match, actually.
Yeah.
Two former world champions going at it, showing you, like they said on commentary, while they're both former world champions.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Wood tried to get involved, and he tripped Ray up on a 619.
Got ejected.
Got ejected. Trevin was like, "Where's the DQ?" If it's a manager, they get ejected first, and then you can start doing the DQs, I guess.
Yeah.
But then Kofi comes up behind, Ray counters, hits him into a 619, goes for the dive, knees up, Kofi blocks, and then tries to hit an SOS. And I love the SOS as a finisher, but I've always thought it looked sloppy. Always looks sloppy every time he does it, and that's not a slight to him. It's a weird move to do. You're hooking someone's side, you're bending down over with their arm over you, and then you're kicking out and doing a flip. It's a very hard move to execute and look good. Ray counters it with a roll up. 1, 2, 3, boom. That's the match. And not trying to spoil the end, but we do see 2 roll-ups tonight, which I thought was interesting. But hey, Ray wins via roll-up.
But then gets jumped. Xavier comes back from getting ejected to help with the jumping, and then
LWO comes out. And they run off Kofi and Woods. Kofi and Woods, like the smartest fucking heels I've ever seen, go to the crowd, circle back, and then take out one of the members. Takes out Joaquin Wilde. And then we had Dragon Lee tweet out that night saying, "Oh, you can do that when we're not there to help." And he's like, they're like, "Well, that's your fault. Why the fuck were you and Zelina at home instead of at Raw?"
Another little promo thing that happened during commercial break was Karrion Kross, now that the White Six are on SmackDown, is looking at being sort of the devil to Sami Zayn.
And we will see a bit of that happen later on in the show. So just stick around. And then what did we cut to next? I believe it was... Was it the Chad Gable interview?
No, it was Sammy's promo talking about... Sammy declared himself for the Rumble.
Which is now our 10th guy.
Yeah.
So we have a third of the field already declared. Please stop declaring people for the Rumble.
We have 2 women declared.
And
start declaring those homies.
Last time I checked, it's 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
And you're not putting any thought into the women's match.
Yes, less than. It's Saturday night main event, and then the Saturday after that is Rumble.
But, so Sammy comes out, he declares, and then Kevin comes out. And Sammy looks like he just shit his pants. Literally, the look of fear on his face of, oh, I am going to get my ass kicked.
Everyone thought he was going to get his butt whooped.
I wanted it to happen. I think it's more interesting if Kevin beats him up. But he also said, look, I know that's not the type of person you are. He said, I've done horrible things to you in the past, and you've forgiven me. So I know you would have done the same for Roman. So it's not the same when it comes to Cody teaming with him as you teaming with him.
It's like you're just that kind of guy.
Which is basic manipulation tactics. It's very basic.
And he just keeps digging of you're my best friend.
Even though he said on Friday, my former best friend. So he just keeps plunging in those little pokes and daggers. And then he said, look, come Rumble, I know you'll do the right thing. Because he said, The one thing we haven't done is main event WrestleMania for the WWE Championship.
Yep, against each other. They main evented 39 fighting for the tag champs.
I think Kevin's taking it. I think Kevin might be taking it. But that will be a prediction video.
Yeah.
But moving on, we had what was next? Was it the Chad Gable promo? I keep
yes.
thinking it's the Chad Gable promo.
Yes,
because
the Chad Gable promo was next.
He was berating American Mid, and I think it was Kathy Kelly. She was like, "Well, I'm here to talk to Chad Gable if he's done." And he's like, "I was motivating the team. I have a bit of an issue with luchadors. I couldn't get it done against Penta, couldn't get it done against Dragon Lee, against Rey Mysterio. So I'm going to talk to someone who has a history with luchas and has a mustache." And I was like, what the fuck is the second point? Like, noteworthy. And then it's Dominic. That's why. We cut to later on in the show where the Judgment Day are in there, and you see Liv, JD, Carlito, and Raquel. And they're just looking, and they're like, what the fuck is he here? And we're thinking, oh, it's Finn. No, it's Chad.
Yeah.
It's Chad.
Yeah.
And he looks so tiny again next to fucking Dom. He looks so tiny. And he's like, I have a history of problems with luchadors. Dom gives him a number. Speculation begins on who it can be.
Yes.
People are saying Alistair because he's married to Selena, and he he said, I'm gonna tap into the dark arts to get against Lucha, and that's the wrestling school, the dark arts wrestling school. Hey, it could happen. I would be disappointed because anywhere could I see him being the best at beating up luchadors.
That's the thing, is that people also looked at his history across like every different company. He has fought against almost every different style and has put in his own bag pieces of every different style as well. So it's like there are aspects of his character and as a person on why it could be him. It'd just be cool to see him return. He's got such a cool character concept.
Yeah, and so we move on from that, and then I think we go into our second match of the night.
Yes, we go,
and I think that was Penta.
No.
Or was it the Pure Fusion Collective match?
No, it was the Nia Bailey match.
Oh, I forgot. Hey, this match happened. So at the start of the show, Rhea was walking in. Nia jumps her. Why? I don't fucking know. I couldn't tell you.
Because Nia's pissed.
I think we're on different companies.
Technically, yes. Still, yes.
Technically, Nia's still a member of the SmackDown roster. Yep. The newest addition to the Raw roster is Bailey. She gets transferred over tonight.
Declares herself for the Rumble.
Yeah, declares herself for the Rumble. And then we have the two women who declared themselves for the Rumble face off in a match. Pretty decent match.
Yeah.
These two know how to work well together. And then we had Nia pick up the win, which was surprising after working the arm for majority of the match, which was, once again, surprising. It shows a great in a depth of in-ring psychology. She's starting to actually get it. Not saying that she did, not saying that she doesn't.
And after the 1, 2, 3, we hear "This is my brutality."
Oh yeah. During the match, Roxanne Perez was at ringside. Her and Bailey got into a spat. When Roxanne was getting picked up and pulled away, she accidentally kicked a crowd member in the face as she fell on the floor.
Has that been acknowledged on social media by the company?
No. But Rhea comes out. They get into a brawl. And Saturday night's main event, Rhea Ripley, the champion, versus Nia Jax, challenger for the Women's World Championship.
Yep.
We don't predict Saturday night's main event, but that's Rhea's winning.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were saying that it's weird how they're doing a heel versus heel thing, and I'm like, it's very obvious that Rhea's a face now.
Yeah.
People keep thinking she's a heel.
They turned her baby face as soon as she got kicked out of Judgment Day.
And there's people saying, well, there's no one else in the thing. Sorry about that.
No.
But they're saying there's no one else in the women's division on Raw to actually give her a chance. Like an actual run for her money. And that's just, you need to have the rosters change.
Yeah.
After Mania, we need another shakeup. And the majority of SmackDown stars should come to Raw. We should literally just do a whoop.
Yeah, I feel like there is a need for a lot of shakeup, but don't forget that a bunch of NXT stars are also ready for call-ups.
Yep. Roxanne is pretty much destined, I think, now to go to Raw.
Yeah.
Because she's in the program with Bayley.
Mm-hmm.
So Roxanne comes to Raw.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to be on the same brand as her old mentor CM Punk as well.
Mm-hmm. And then we have people like EO who are stuck in the tag division right now because other members of Damage Control are injured.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we just need the injury bug to finally go away, which is never going to go away.
I mean, in news about people getting over the injury bug,
Ilya Dragunov doing a John Cena 2008 type beat, tore his ACL, and in 4 months after, he is back in the fucking ring.
Yep. He's doing in-ring training at the Performance Center.
Things that will take an NBA star out for a season, which is 9 months.
Yep.
He is back in 4. I think he did the Cena method of doing physical therapy 3 times a day. Just, I need to get back. I want to get back.
Man's a beast. Hopefully with this training and PT, he might be in the Rumble, but we will wait for official clearance.
He's going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah.
I'm calling a Rumble return for him. Just because if he's already back after 4 months of that, he's good to go. In other news, like injury-wise, Charlotte had a similar injury where she tore her ACL, but she also tore everything in her knee. Her knee basically blew up.
Yeah.
So she is also on her way back.
Yeah, she did have a little vignette on SmackDown that says that she will be back soon.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a Rumble return as well.
Yeah, but then we get
Pete Dunne versus Penta.
Pete Dunne versus Penta. Penta's new pyro might be limited time.
It's spin.
Shit's fire. Shit's cool as fuck. Literally just spinning sparks of pyro.
Yep, to look like his little shuriken thing.
And then he did his Zero Mierda taunt into Pete Dunne's finger break.
Yep.
Which was just perfect.
Yeah, I commented this before camera started rolling. Incidental chemistry is some of my favorite stuff. Like putting the man whose emote literally involves fingers against the finger breaker, just nice touch.
Yeah, these two had a fucking amazing match.
Yeah.
Pete Dunne has a really good mind for the wrestling industry. I believe he's like 24, 25.
Mm-hmm.
He's around our age.
Yeah.
And he's already booking Speed. Like, he's the producer for Speed sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That shit is insane. So the fact that he can go out with someone that he's never interacted with, to my knowledge, and just have a fucking banger is dope.
Just think about, like, last PLE season, basically. He was pulling double duty on Raw and NXT. He was having a rivalry with both Hall of Fame nominee Sheamus and future call-up Trick Williams in the same season.
Yeah, so sky's the limit for Pete Dunne. They are doing really well with booking Penta, making him feel like a megastar.
Mm-hmm.
So sky's the limit. I can't wait. They said in the promo that he was talking about with Ludwig, I don't know if we got there yet or if that was just off camera. I forget.
It was off camera.
But they're looking to have a match. Penta and Ludwig. I think Penta wins this one. But I could see some heelish shenanigans, but I wouldn't want Penta to lose so quickly.
Yeah.
I'd say at least give him a month of wins, so 4 wins straight, and then start booking him to have at least decent 50-50 matches, which, I mean, he actually was. So I can't even complain about that because his first match with Gable, he sold that leg like it was fucking broken.
Yeah. And
Also, he comes out doing his little walk, which I
Yeah.
love.
Yeah. I don't know where this was in the show based off of some of the highlights I'm looking at, but there was Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective as well.
It was a match. The best part of the match was Zoe Stark hitting a missile drop kick.
From one side of the ring all the way to the other.
Yeah, basically sniped Dakota Kai.
Yep. We were like, did you just kill her?
Yeah, hey, look, the sky's the limit for Zoe Stark as soon as she can start cutting decent promos.
We are just not interested in this faction at all.
Okay, look, Shayna Baszler, they booked her like a monster in NXT, and as soon as she got to the main roster, neutered. Zoe Stark, booked like a monster in NXT. As soon as she gets to the main roster, can't cut a promo. Sonya Deville, she was good, but she spent time outside of the ring for things that out of her control. But off that time, rusty. She's not the best on mic. There was a match that I just saw today, or a clip of a match where it was Lyra versus Sonya, and Lyra went for like a pump handle power bomb, and Sonya was just holding on to her, just hanging upside down, and Lyra, you could hear Lyra go, "Let go." So like, hey, if this is the faction you want to put together, this is the faction that I'm personally not going to be interested in. I feel like all three of these women could go do something, but they're just
like
sticking them together and making them lose.
Like you look back at their history, they have put on banners. Zoe Stark, amazing in the ring. Shayna Baszler,
Shayna 2-time in NXT.
Yep, but it's like no one cares about their direction because when you form this faction, their direction was losing streak.
Losing streak, no charisma. The reason why factions are made are for people that already know the business. They are here to help push someone new. Dominic in the Judgment Day is a great example of that. Completely overhauled his character, completely made him a total new star.
Yes.
And you needed that because of the Judgment Day. You got that because of the Judgment Day.
We
Pure Fusion Collective, no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah. I mean,
I was making the thumbnail for this while the match was going on.
Yeah. I mean, even look at another faction for an equation on how to do factions. Look at the prime faction example of the Shield. Each of them brought something different.
Roman, silent, strong. Fucking Rollins. Architect, and he was the air guy, and you just had Ambrose, who was the brawler.
Yep. And just charismatic on the mic as well, Ambrose.
Like, the Shield was a perfect example of a faction, and the best thing was, it was Rollins and Ambrose that are, they're used to the business, but they weren't on that star level, and the Shield made them a star.
Yep.
I would say the same thing to Damian and Rhea when they first joined Judgment Day with Edge.
Yep.
That was a big boost.
Yep. You have these two NXT favorites joining a Hall of Fame nominee Edge.
And that or Hall of Famer Edge. And then you obviously have Edge go do other things because they want him as a face for his last run, which is, totally fine. If you want him to be a face for his last run, be a face. Just don't book him to be in the heels fucking stable. They replace him with Finn. Finn helps them get to the next step, and then they bring in Dominic, and then everyone's evolving.
Yeah, literally one of the subplots of WrestleMania 39, besides the Bloodline stuff, was Judgment Day's domination of the just entire company.
Mm-hmm. And then, if you want this team to go on and do something, you need someone in there that can cut a promo. Someone. Anyone.
Yeah.
I'm begging anyone to cut a promo that's good. But yeah, this match was a match.
Yeah.
Damage Control wins, obviously.
I mean, there were definitely highlights in this match because, of course, as
Zoe Stark can go.
Yeah,
Zoe
Zoe
Stark's
Stark,
one of
the
the
drop
best
kick.
in-ring talents in WWE.
Io Sky is literally a highlight maker.
You had Dakota Kai in there, and then you had Shayna Baszler in there. You had 4 women who can go.
Yep.
Who can put on a good match.
It's just the interest level of one half of this match is at an all-time low.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was that match.
Yeah.
And then we move on to...
Yeah, and then some promo packages. They announced that Logan Paul will have his Raw in-ring debut next week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Feed him to Gunther. Feed him to Oba Femi. Honestly, I want to see Logan Paul in NXT. Face Oba Femi.
Oba call up.
Oba's not getting called up yet.
No.
Oba's getting called up next year. Best
Yeah.
believe they're probably giving him a lengthy title reign with the NXT title.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Gunter length.
No, not 2 years. I don't need any more of this 2-3 year long thing. If you want to give someone a long reign, give them a year. Maybe a year and a half. 2 years with the title is just egregious. That just means
Fair.
you have nothing going on. You have no idea what you're doing.
Fair. Yeah. CM Punk enters from the audience for an interview, and he basically says, like, it doesn't matter who's in the Rumble, I'm throwing them over the top rope.
He said, John Cena, I can't see him. Hulk Hogan, I'll throw his old dusty ass over the ring and end Hulkamania once and forever.
Yep.
I was like, jeez. But yeah, like, love the fire of Punk. Was not expecting him to show up at this episode.
No.
Also, I feel slighted. My goat has lied to us. You said a full year. He was on one fucking episode so far. Come on, John. I want to see you on my screen. I want to cry like a child.
You get to see him on your screen during the McDonald's commercials.
That is true. These two were talking during a McDonald's commercial one time. And I said, "Shut up! My goat's talking." He's my goat. Just like Ray. Him and Ray instantly make me feel like a child again.
Yeah. But then we move on to our main event of
We did miss a Sheamus promo. I want to get this out the way. Sheamus and Braun had a promo backstage. Sheamus saying, look, it's the only title I haven't won, the IC. Been chasing it for 5 years. And after this promo, I looked at Trevin, because Zach didn't join us last night to watch. But I looked at Trevin and I said, you know, honestly, it would suck to have him lose this match again. I would not hate for him to get this moment at WrestleMania to win the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a good Mania moment. And after that, he becomes the ultimate Grand Slam. He's literally won everything that there is to win in WWE.
Yeah. Like we have Miz, who's a 2-time Grand Slam, but
Not ultimate. He's never won King of the Ring.
no.
Sheamus has won King of the Ring, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. I think he's won a chamber match.
Yeah.
Like,
Literally
he
every
just needs the IC title.
every accolade you can think of if Sheamus wins the IC.
Discounting NXT
Yes.
because NXT is not considered main roster.
Yes.
But, yeah, Sheamus and Braun. Sheamus pushed Braun away, and I thought it was going to be a brawl, and Braun just smiled, laughed,
Yeah.
and walked away.
Yep.
But now we move on to our main event of the evening. Seth fucking Rollins. Because they are pussies, and they won't say it. Versus Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania rematch.
Yep. And they hyped it up like it was a WrestleMania match.
And they put it on. It was a banger. These two staring at each other, and Seth just goes, I have 2 good knees now. They're singing my song. This is my time.
Yep.
And they put on a fucking banger.
Yep.
Seth wins via roll-up.
Yep. And they were holding no stops. Like Seth basically pulled out everything out of his bag, went for almost every finisher he has in his pocket.
He went for the superplex into Falcon Arrow combo, and fucking Drew countered into a Michinoku driver after the superplex, and I was like, oh, that's fire.
These people are pulling out their bag.
And then after the match, we saw, quite literally, the closest Claymore I have ever seen And I said, this is the one he should be doing.
Literally
Fun setting up in the corner.
Literally, probably the distance between them when he hit the Claymore was this table.
And he just jumped up, went,
Yup.
got
And
him.
I'm like, I think we just witnessed a murder.
And I was like, did he just Claymore him?
Yeah.
And I was like, geez, yeah. Fuck the 1, or the 3, 2, 1. Fuck that. Hit that shit out of nowhere. Sammy comes in for the save.
Yep.
He starts beating up Drew. And then Drew throws Sammy out the way. He starts beating up on Seth again.
In the corner, which, if you know anything about when Sammy was working his way to become the honorary Uce again.
The thing I want to know, and I saw this on Twitter, and this is actually a good point. Since when does Sammy ever do a haluva kick to someone that's not facing him?
Oh, shoot, you right.
Why would he ever do a haluva kick to the back of the head and not to the face?
That's so dangerous.
But it's because Seth was there. Drew moved out the way. Sammy made contact with Seth.
Yep.
And then afterwards, Drew leaves. He's laughing.
Yep.
He walks up the ramp.
And Seth just has a look of, what the?
He's like, I'm gonna fucking murder you.
Yeah, and Sammy, like, looks the most apologetic he has looked in a while.
He's like, I didn't mean to do it, dude. I didn't mean to do it. Hey, if this leads to a Seth heel turn, I won't be mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is this episode of Monday Night Raw.
Yeah. It was a banger, honestly. We had a couple spots, but honestly, most of the matches they had on this card were bangers, even if they were on accident. Like the Pete Dunne, Penta. A lot of people would have written that off as a filler arc for Penta. The chemistry these two had, even incidentally, was real good.
Yeah. Then you had Bailey, Nia. Of course, they have good chemistry.
Yeah.
Damage Control and Pure Fusion Collective, they've been facing off, so they do have some good chemistry.
Yeah.
Seth and Drew. But
Banger.
yeah,
Yeah.
this was it. Like he said, good episode. Saturday is Saturday night's main event. Some more stuff I just want to talk about real quick. I think we got to it in SmackDown one. I'm not sure because TNA might have happened afterwards. Joe Hendry is your new TNA champion. Jordan Grace is expected to be in the WWE Performance Center this week.
Yep.
Fraxium is facing the Rascals on Thursday for the NXT Championships on TNA.
Yeah. Because Fraxium was on ringside,
Yep.
spectating the match.
Joe Hendry called out John Cena, saying Triple H tweeted about it, Michaels tweeted about it,
Yep.
Cena put the logo on Instagram.
Yep.
So what
Okay.
kind of representative would I be if I didn't put my name in there to fight him?
Yeah.
So-
I mean, some people
If
come.
this- Wait, sorry to cut you off. If this leads to Cena in a TNA ring, I'll be happy.
A lot of people commented on, it would be the biggest curveball if the 17th world
the
champion.
TNA Championship.
Yep.
I said, hey, they technically could do that though.
Yeah.
It's a world championship. It's
Yeah.
the TNA World Championship.
Yeah, and now since they have a partnership with WWE, it technically counts as a WWE championship as well.
That shit would be insane. But, yeah, that TNA Genesis happened. JBL was also on TNA Genesis. I don't know why they didn't point that out, but
Yeah, Cora Jade came face to face with the TNA Knockout Champion.
yep. And for those out the loop, today is Tuesday when we are recording, so tonight will be NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if more TNA stars pop up there.
Yeah.
But that is it from us today. This has been Caleb with Trevin. Zach behind the camera as always. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell 3 times so you know the match is over. And we'll see you next time. Thank you for your time. Peace.
Bye.